Greetings, AMCers. Welcome to Script Screen. My name is John Campia, and there are some facts in life that are both amazing and awe-inspiring, and yet a little bit depressing at the same time. It's been 25 years since Back to the Future came out, and we're getting ready to celebrate the 25th anniversary, and I'm here to talk a little bit about that with the writer of Back to the Future. I'm really pleased to be joined by Mr. Bob Gale. Bob, first of all,
I'm also a producer too.
and you're also producer on the film and on the whole series.
Whole series, yes, sir.
One of the things that always amazes me is, it's always a thrill for people to, have a film that comes out. You have more than that. You have a set of stories that have become an integral part of our entire pop culture for the last 25 years.
Knew, right?
What's that been like for you?
It's great. It's great. I mean, even when the movie first came out, we had President Reagan quoted the end of the first movie in his State of the Union address in 1986. So the phrase "Back to the Future" it caught on and it entered the lexicon, and then it just keeps getting rediscovered by every generation. What's exciting for me is that people who were kids when the movie first came out are now adults and they have their own kids. And now we're going to give them a chance to go to the theater and see the movie the way it's supposed to be seen on the big screen, restored. It looks so good. The digital restoration is unbelievable. I mean, they cleaned up every speck of dirt. It sounds better. It's better now than it was 25 years ago. And who can say that? That is cool.
It's wonderful. You talk about how, generations of movie fans have come this, because, you think about such great films, even like The Godfather, where there's a lot of the younger generations who still haven't seen it. Everybody has seen and loves Back to the Future. We're now sitting here 25 years later, and we're getting ready on October 23rd and 25th. We're going to be showing it in 40 different cities with AMC's on about, I think, 158 different screens. As you look back now, what were some of your fondest memories when you were first putting this whole thing together?
Well, one of the stories I love to tell is that the project was rejected over 40 times. After we wrote the first draft of the script,
like my dating life.
1981, nobody wanted to make this movie. Nobody. I mean, we got turned down by every major studio multiple times. So it's a testament to perseverance that you should never give up on your dream. And making this movie was a dream of Bob Zemeckis and myself, and it paid off.
Now, as we're getting ready for audience to get to see it on the big screen again after so long, how do you think the film has stood up? Because, we talked a little bit about how younger generations are seeing it now and loving it almost as much, if not even more, than those of us who have been around long enough to have seen it originally. What do you think people who are seeing it now for the first time are seeing?
It's amazing. The movies really do hold up very, very well. We had, when I screened this element to make sure that it looked good, not knowing it was going to look great, one of the technicians brought his 10-year-old son in to see. He'd never seen the movie before. This kid was totally blown away. So the filmmaking, it's a classical style of filmmaking. It's beautifully photographed. Technically, the movie's terrific. There really aren't that many visual effects shots in the first movie.
Right.
It's a movie about people, and that's why it works so well. Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, they're all so great in the movie, and you identify with those people, you understand them. Michael J. Fox, he's a kid who doesn't understand his parents. Everybody can identify with that. And say, the performances, if I do say so myself, the script is really great. It just all came together.
It's funny because some time ago I was doing an interview and I was talking with Crispin Glover, and he said, Back to the Future will always be part of the culture because everywhere I go now, it doesn't matter how many movies I'm in, people see me, it's like, oh, look, it's McFly.
That's right.
Now, you were mentioning that, you weren't just the writer of the original Back to the Future. Talk a little bit about your involvement with the entire Back to the Future franchise after that first film.
Well, again, we didn't have any idea that anybody would be possibly interested in going to see this movie. When we started it. It was a time travel movie, and we'd been told during those 40 plus rejections, nobody interested in time travel. No time travel movies ever made a dime. So once the movie took off, it was kind of a foregone conclusion that there was going to be a sequel. Universal came to us and said, guys, let's talk sequel. And interestingly enough, people think you put that ending on the first movie, you must have been planning a sequel.
Yeah, that's what I always assumed too.
The answer is no, we did not. And A little bit of Back to the Future trivia. For people that only ever saw the movie on VHS, where it says "to be continued" at the end, that is not in the original theatrical release. It's not on the DVD.
I didn't know that.
We put that on the VHS to promote the fact that we were doing a sequel. So when it came time for us to say, okay, let's think about doing a sequel here, we kind of had painted ourselves into a corner, because we said, oh my God, we have to start right where we last one left off and go into the future and see Marty's kids. And yet part of the charm of the movie is that we're saying you have control over your own destiny. We couldn't very well have Marty say to Jennifer, you know what, I'm not going to marry you, then we won't have kids, and now we don't have to go on this adventure. So it was a tricky, dramatic problem to solve.
Well, Bob, listen, thank you so much for your hand in creating a film franchise that's been a part of our lives for over 25 years already. We cannot wait for it to hit the big screens again for everybody to see it. October 23rd and October 25th, 40 cities, 158 screens all over the place. Bob, thank you so much for your time. We can't wait to see it.
Thank you. And folks, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell complete strangers, drag them to the theater. If you've never seen Back to the Future on a big screen with an audience, it is an experience you have to have.